You plan on talking from a distance, or?
I usually when you're like, "What's going on?" I'm
I see. You have a
Oh, it's
system.
I have a
Shtick.
ritual. You know how like
Shtick.
people take their free throws and like do their thing.
All right.
Did you have that in volleyball? Because I definitely did.
Oh,
before you
absolutely.
Serve. Yeah.
Oh my god, I was like,
All right, ready. We don't care about your volleyball.
you don't care about my people were surprised that I played volleyball. They said one person was like, I imagined her as being 5 feet tall. And I honestly took it as a compliment. He's like, you think I'm little?
So you think I'm skinny?
All right, here we go.
You're crazy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files. I'm Nick, joined by Allie and Amanda, and this is Ask Nick. Hope you're all doing well. What's going on?
Okay.
What?
I have news, and I purposely didn't tell
Bursting.
Amanda this because I wanted her live reaction on
Oh.
the show.
Oh.
Amanda,
Yes.
over the weekend, I went to a Hanukkah party.
Oh!
And I met a man who asked me out on a date.
Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Ali.
That's my update.
A Jewish man.
I guess so. I didn't ask, but I'm assuming so.
Well, you're
Okay.
not Jewish, and you were there.
Correct.
So
How did the Hanukkah party go?
It was good. I bonded mostly with the host's father. His name was Avi.
Is he the one who asked you on the date?
No, but I did give him my number because he has a beach volleyball league,
The
and
host
Avi
father.
thought that I would be a good fit.
Avi.
Mm-hmm.
okay, so where did you meet Avi?
Avi was sitting on the couch at the party, and I was sitting on the ledge of the couch, and he was like, "Please don't do that. Come sit here. What do you do? Tell me about yourself."
You were sitting
Okay.
on the couch improperly?
I guess, according to Avi, but he loved my approach. He was asking me if I was there with anyone. I was saying no. He was asking me about my dating life, what I did. I was telling him, he was asking me what the longest
Avi set you
relationship
up?
I'd had. No.
Who is Avi, and why? Like,
So-
why are we talking more about Avi?
I don't know. I was
We're
sitting,
painting a picture.
I was sitting on the couch with Avi. We're going back and forth. He's asking me like relationship advice on marriage because he hears I work on a relationship podcast. And the other guy was sitting there just watching Avi and I.
like a ping pong match.
Yes. And I think that's what sealed the deal.
The other guy asked you out.
Yeah. Well, we definitely had vibes. So I always shoot
The
my
other
shot.
guy who was watching you?
Yeah. Like later on in the party as we're moving around. So I was like, we definitely have vibes, and I'm never shy about giving someone my number or getting their number. So I was going to do that. But then he ended up being like, well, I should get your number, blah, blah, blah.
I don't think we give you enough credit for that. We just being like a general.
I'm not afraid to shoot my shot.
like you're
Who's we?
you.
Thanks, Amanda.
You have her
just-
enough credit for
Just
what?
in terms of like being an adventurous dater, like I think it is very. Shooting your shot is so hard in person.
Oh my God. One time
I
I
was
was at a
unaware
party.
that she does this. I don't
Oh
know.
She
my
does
God.
it. She said it
I
before.
DM
When?
people. I give out my number. One time I was at a party. I thought someone was cute. He was talking with another girl. So I just walked straight up to him and I said, are you going to help me win the bet with my friends? And he said, what's that bet? And I
Sounds
said,
like a Do You Want to Shot the Title line.
and then he said, what's the bet? And I said that you kiss me. And then we kissed. And I said, sorry, my Uber's here. And then I left.
Wow, hot and fun. So okay, so this guy.
So he
what
got
do
your number. Did he say, let's go on a date, or did he say, I should get your number?
He got my number. We texted a little bit. And then he was asking me, who I was at the party with. We were talking about like mutual friends and whatever. And then he was saying, oh, yeah, they seem great and super friendly. And then he was like, but my question isn't for them, Allison. It's for you.
Okay, so
And he's like, when are you going to be hungry next? And if so, can I take you to dinner when that happens? And I was like, well, I think I'll be hungry on Wednesday, if that works with your dietary needs. And he said, I'll avoid snacks.
Well, I'm hungry now.
I think that sounds so sweet.
So dinner.
I get.
A whole meal of food.
I'm not sure.
And he's planning ahead of time.
Yeah, he picked the place. It's 0.3 miles from my apartment. Can you say walking?
What kind of cuisine?
I've not looked.
What do you know about him?
Not too much.
Okay.
We're going to figure it out. I feel like it's hard in like a party scenario. And also I didn't know a single person at that party. So I wasn't like the best
How'd you get invited?
listener. I third wheel married couple. So
The
typically when
host.
they get invited
Oh, okay.
to parties, they ask, can we have a +1? And they get a response of, you're married. And they say it's for our child. We did the same thing for Halloween. Works out pretty well.
Child.
The idea of like, how did you end up
We're
at this
grooming
party?
our one women for our throuple.
I wish there was more throuple visibility and culture.
Why?
We're not a throuple. Can I
know you're not.
Why?
I'm not
Sell
in a throuple.
Sell me on a throuple.
In thinking about the balance between like working life and family life, I'm like, it could be freaking awesome to have a third person who could like help with like care task and child. Like,
Sure.
I'm just like
Could
curious.
also get a
Call
nanny.
or a assistant or a.
Yeah.
Just hire someone.
I mean, if you're in one,
I'm not in a throuple.
great for anyone. But I
Imagine that's how you like soft launched.
I have yet to see the value, but I could be. I'd love for someone to advocate for it.
So I think the value is, and I've seen 2 women on TikTok that do this. They are best friends, and then they kind of co-parent in that way. Like their kids go to the same school, and so like you pick up the boys, and I'll take the girls to dance and whatever. And so they kind of split their kids in
and
a
they
way.
share a dad.
No, but they're just like 2 best friends.
like a
they have their
domestic
own
partnership.
husbands, but
They have separate husbands.
yes.
How is this a throuple?
No, I'm not. I'm saying there's a value in having a close enough friendship that you
Sure.
can like share that stuff. Doesn't
How
have
did
to
that
be
go
sexual.
How do we go from
Everyone missed my
throuple to being
lunch.
like, you know what? It's nice to have a close friend with similar
Parenting
interests.
can be
Yeah.
isolating. Get someone else on your team. Okay, so
So like what? Every mom at a playground? Should I presume they might be in a throuple? Who's like talking to another mom?
And keep things
Are you
interesting.
guys dating?
Are you in love?
I mean, not
I
each
wanna
other, but the
normalize
same
it.
guy.
it's funny that you say that. You met a maybe Jewish man at a Hanukkah party
Yeah.
because I actually have a friend. I was talking to a friend from improv, and he's been like hanging
From our improv or a different improv?
different improv. He's been hanging out with this girl for so long. At one point, they were kind of dating, and then she just has some like history around like physical stuff where she's like, that's just like really something she doesn't want to engage in. So she was kind of like, slow the roll, like, let's not date. And so they weren't dating, but then they started hanging out constantly. And now they do that thing where they hang out all the time. They see movies together, like,
But they're not dating?
but they have no like physical contact and they're
Oh.
not dating.
Are
But
they just friends?
No, well, it's like
Hmm.
sort technically, but like it's not a friendship either of them treats normally, in my opinion. Like
But
he
they're
took
not
her to the
friends?
wedding. He took her to the wedding.
They're not dating. They're not friends. They're
It's
not
like
anything.
it's like very ambiguous. But I was
Who is this?
this is one of my friends from improv, and he's a very nice.
Is this the girl that was like way out of the way and you had to go pick her up on the way to the wedding?
No, that was a different girl. She
Okay.
rocked. But she lived in Seal Beach. And, my point was that he was like, I was talking to my friend about it, and he was like, I mean, like just hanging out with her, like he really likes her and sees so much value in her. And I think he's getting to the point where he realizes like this is not a sustainable situation. But he was just like, he was like, I told her, like, we don't have to have any kind of physicality. Like, I just like you and I like want to be with you in whatever capacity like feels comfortable to you. And I think she's kind of, navigating her own stuff, which is just valid and fair, but like also
Do you know who this girl is?
Yeah, I met her at the wedding.
What did this have to do with meeting a Jewish guy?
Because listening to him talk, I was like, oh my God, I thought there was a chance that like you and him might really get along.
Oh.
I think you would either love or hate each other.
That's fun.
The guy from improv.
Yes, I
Keep
showed
it
him
fresh.
your Instagram
Oh,
and he was
no.
like, I would absolutely go on a date with her. So
Why?
And he's just not getting any from this
so
non-friendship.
she's like, I know someone who's easy.
She's not physically attracted to him?
It's like he's just in this tough situation that I think is like where he's accepting a lot less than he wants. And it's not that he wants physicality. He just wants like some kind of like label and like acknowledgement of like the kind of like dynamic that they have and the commitment he
It's
has
not
to
just
her.
friendship. Yeah.
Right. And he's finally getting to the point where he's like, okay, like this is not emotionally sustainable. But I just thought the way he handled it was so respectful.
Can I see his Instagram?
Yeah.
What's fair is fair.
He's also like got a great TikTok following.
Oh,
Not
a
like a crazy one?
celebrity.
Okay.
Okay, something that has been weighing heavy on my heart and mouth is the dynamic and expectations surrounding sharing food with partners. Because I feel like partners think, especially men, new girl never did this. I feel like carte blanche to just eat whatever they want off my plate. And I am fine sharing.
Is this making dinner, out to eat at a restaurant, both?
Both. Well, mostly out to eat at a restaurant. But the thing that bothers me is that, like, I will say to my boyfriend, I will be like, I am more than happy to, like, make you a bowl of what I'm eating. Like, I got an acai bowl. I was like, do you want one? He said no. I come over. He has it, but he's like, oh, it's good. I was like, do you want me to put some in a bowl for you? He said no. And instead he would just take bites. And it drove me crazy because it's a careful navigation.
Acai bowls are different. This is
right.
not a soup. There's certain things.
There's layers.
Yes.
There's components.
Yes.
Soup? I wouldn't want to share a soup.
Yeah, but that's all one thing. There's not like toppings.
Like this.
Acai is a navigation.
Nally and I share a lot. We share a beverage. We drink out of the same cup for dinner usually.
Are you
That
okay?
weird?
What kind of beverage? Like water?
Do you need more dishwasher pods?
Alcohol or soft drink?
Why does it matter?
It matters.
Water, or this vitamin C drink that's currently sold out. But water, essentially water. It's like a big gulp, and we just usually often share it. It's like a community cup.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
Is that
I
weird?
like it. No.
No.
I don't think it's normal, but I don't think it's like
we just started
weird.
doing it. I don't like. It's not like when we eat at home, we do that. It's just like
You don't go
You
to
don't
a
get a
restaurant and be
community
like,
cup
one
at a
glass,
restaurant.
please.
No, but usually when we'll go to a restaurant, we'll order together often.
I love collaborating.
What do you mean
Like,
order together? Like
you
two
know, like if
things
we go
and
to
split
like
them?
yeah,
Yeah, makes
all
sense.
the time. We almost
you-
always do that.
Do you get an extra plate or you just go at it?
And we just kind of go at it. We have very similar palates, which is nice, except that she loves ranch and everything, and I can't stand it. But like that's her journey.
You don't
I-
like ranch, mayo? I feel like they're kind of similar.
Correct. Yeah.
Ranch is bad. Ranch is bad.
Just
my
for
opinion.
ranch.
I think ranch, if you don't enjoy it when you're a kid, you lose the window. Maybe there's some late in life ranch lovers out there, but I feel like
You
it's
have to
not.
You are a late in life ranch lover. Comment
they
down
have to
below.
get you young. So to
Yeah, I think they have to brainwash you young.
speak. It's like
It's not brainwashing.
learning how to like ranch and learning a new language.
And piano.
Piano.
Yeah.
I did take piano lessons and didn't do well in that either. So
Oh, do you play any musical instruments?
no. I
Me
took
neither.
violin for a while. Took
Hey,
piano.
yo. Violin's difficult and it sounds brutal until you figure it out.
I got progressively worse.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
What?
fun.
I really just yeah.
Did you play instruments?
No, not
Really, I find that surprising.
She was athlete. She was an athletic woman.
Yeah, I'm too busy doing
Too
improv in 8th grade. I did woodworking.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Woodworking.
Yes.
What
I did
did you
woodworking
make?
as a child after school. Various sort of
Birdhouses.
bowls, spoons.
That's out of wood?
yeah.
It's not pottery?
No, out of wood.
How do you make a bowl out
Do
of
you
wood?
still woodwork?
No, I would love to though. I think I would be very bad.
What's the coolest thing you've ever made?
I did this when I was young.
How do you make a round object out of wood?
It's really cool the way you have to heat it up and like bend it.
They let a child do that?
my parents like favorite like comment they've ever received on a school report is the wood shop teacher at school wrote Amanda hammers with authority. And my parents like have never
Not much has changed.
Yeah.
Been more proud. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've never seen her hammer.
it's with authority.
The most wonderful time of the year is also the most hectic time of year, and everyone puts off shopping until the last minute. Well, I know that's true, because I do. And if you have an online store, you know the feeling of getting hit with tons of orders at once. When you are buried in orders and emails from stressed customers, you'll wish you had ShipStation. ShipStation turns holiday ship storms into smooth sailing. ShipStation certainly got natural habits through the Black Friday madness. ShipStation works with all your favorite places to sell online, including Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Shopify, and more. Manage every order from one simple dashboard, automate routine shipping tasks, print shipping labels, and easily compare rates and delivery times to optimize every shipment. With enterprise solutions that make warehouse optimization easy, ShipStation scales when you do. And the best part is you get the same shipping prices as most Fortune 500 companies. And listen, and one of the most expensive costs of running an online business is shipping, so make sure you're not overpaying for that. Over 130,000 companies have grown their e-commerce business with ShipStation, and 98% of companies that stick with ShipStation for a year become customers for life. Incredible. This holiday season, give yourself the gift of stress-free holiday shipping. Get a free 60-day trial at ShipStation.com/VIAL. Thanks to ShipStation for sponsoring the show. Helix Sleep. It's the best. I mean, my favorite thing about going away is coming home and sleeping in my bed.
You love your bed.
I do.
You
Yeah.
really, he talks
really-
about it not in ads. He loves
It's
his
so
bed.
good. I'm reminded every time. It's incredible. I don't know how I slept without my Helix mattress. And like I said, I've always prided myself on being the guy who could sleep on anything, like whatevs. As long as it's a mattress, I'll be fine. And it's still kind of true, but boy, do I really enjoy sleeping in my own bed. I never thought that before. It's just truly special. Helix lineup includes 14 unique mattresses, including a collection of luxury models, a mattress for big and tall sleepers, and even mattresses just made for kids. They have a mattress for everyone. If you sleep hot, sleep cold, slide sleeper, back sleeper. I have the Moonlight mattress, if that helps anyone. But, go to Helix Sleep, take a quick quiz to find out what, is the best mattress that fits you, and they will get you the right mattress. Also, it's super fun to open up because it's like this inflatable, I don't know, it's really great. Also, they give you a 100-night risk-free, so you can sleep on it 100 nights. Do whatever you want. Jump on it, have some fun with it, sleep on it. And if you don't like it, you can ship it back. It also comes with a 10 or 15-year warranty, depending on the model. And it's been awarded the #1 mattress picked by GQ and Wired magazine multiple times, even recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors and your favorite podcast hosts. So Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/VIALL. With Helix, better sleep starts now. All right, what else? Housekeeping. Why don't you guys handle some stuff?
Don't text your ex happy birthday book clubs. If you've read the book, if you haven't read the book, if you're just looking to meet other people in your area, friends, if you want to brave the dating world together, if you're just looking for any sort of community, please join your local book club. Go to our Instagram. It's under one of the little story highlights, all of the links to the different Facebook groups. And if you're in one of the Facebook groups, please participate. Please respond to your manager's posts and questions. They're trying to build communities, keep them active. And Nick is willing to jump on Zoom and meet you guys. So make sure to join your local book club.
Yeah, you should set that up.
Well, I'm waiting on the managers.
Gotcha.
They're waiting on a big enough interest.
I feel like, isn't there like a from the office? Like
how big do they want it to be?
You're the regional manager. No, they're regional managers.
Regional to assistant to the regional manager.
I would say you're the president.
I've not seen
COO.
The Office, but I accept the presidency.
I think you're COO. Breakup song of the week. Shout out. This is, I'm just going to read it because it was a great message.
We love good messages.
The song is Norman fucking Rockwell by our girl Lana Del Rey. Thank you very much to the lovely person who submitted this. The lyrics that they highlighted are, goddamn man-child, you fucked me so good that I almost said I love you. More like even said,
in the song?
I love you. You're fun and you're wild, but you don't know half of the shit you put me through. And it's funny because like Lana Del Rey lyrics, when she says it's always like, the food you put me through. And then you say it aloud, like, you don't know the shit you put me through.
Have you ever been fucked so well you almost said I love you?
Oh, yeah.
Is that a human experience?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah.
You're missing out.
Clearly.
Date. Let's see how the date goes, But the message that they wrote I think the lyrics are amazing, especially the man-child part and the you don't know half the shit you put me through. Because he really doesn't know most of the shit he put me through. And he'll never understand what he put me through. He might think he broke my heart, but he will never truly know how it felt to be so disrespected by the person you have so much love for. Also, I think the lyrics should have been, because you're just a boy and not a man. Because I think he is not a man, because a man would have stood his ground and treated you with honesty and respect, even if you didn't feel the same anymore. I think this song is something you would want to say to them so badly one last time. I used to shout this song throughout my breakup because it's just amazing. It represents the disappointment.
Great. So how's our list going? Do we have like a
Spotify playlist?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's good. It's that's a great point. You can find the Spotify playlist. It's also a highlight. There's a little broken heart. No, there's a music note.
Music note.
What's it called? What's the playlist called?
Wi-Fi Breakup Song of the Week.
Okay.
Do you want working title?
That's fine.
The untitled
Specific?
Wi-Fi Breakup Project.
Yeah, we will accept name ideas for the Breakup Song of the Week playlist.
And for future submissions, if you want to be shouted out on air, just include that.
This isn't yours, is it? I just searched for it. Someone has a playlist called Nick Viall Heartbreak Playlist.
Yeah, no, that's...
Wait, scroll up. What's that photo of him?
That's something I did with...
That looks like a domestic portrait. Like, like when you learn about like...
Is that Natalie's hand?
No.
Oh.
What?
Whose hand is that?
Let me see. Mine?
Right there. No, someone with
It looks like a genre painting
Let me see.
from the Renaissance.
with a red nail holding a cup out. in the corner.
Oh, why do they have that picture up there? That's definitely Natalie.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
fun.
in the Williamsburg Hotel.
Enchanté.
All right. We have a great episode for you. I guess let's get to our callers.
Question time with Nick. Let's ask Nick your sexy questions.
How's it going?
Hi, my name is Amber and I am 19 and I was blindsided into meeting my dad's mistress on Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. Well, here we go. Blindsided into meeting your dad's mistress. So are your parents still married?
No, so they are divorced now, so now she's his girlfriend.
Okay.
But I had never met her.
You had never met her. And you call her your dad's mistress because was something going on while your parents were married?
Yeah, so for a little context, during the pandemic, we thought my dad was working remotely, like taking conference calls from his car. Turns out he was having an affair. This all kind of came out in the pandemic. My parents got divorced, and since then I have never met her. They live together now, but I had made it pretty clear I did not want to meet her.
Okay.
And I, at the very least, wasn't ready to meet her. I thought that I was going to his house or his family's house just for Thanksgiving dessert. And I walked in and there she was.
And how'd that go?
It was just really jarring. So my sister, I have two older siblings. My sister has pretty good relationship with my dad and has met this woman and didn't seem surprised that she was there. I had been under the assumption she wasn't going to be there. My brother had declined the invitation to go because he does not spend any time with my dad's family. And I usually only spend time with his family when I know that this woman isn't going to be there. I mean, I met her and it was as fine as it could have gone. She was gracious and it was just kind of awkward. His whole family was right there. So it was not great. But my problem is kind of, I don't really know where to go from here because I know that it wasn't intentional on his part. It was a misunderstanding that he, for some reason, thought I knew she'd be there.
You believe that?
Yeah, I do think that it wasn't intentional, but it still makes it really difficult.
Yeah. So what is your question? What do you need help figuring it out?
I don't have any real trust in my dad anymore because
Fair.
Usually it feels like this is a cycle. Like this is a pivotal point in a cycle we have where it'll feel like we're kind of having a good run of things and then he'll do something like this and it'll feel really emotionally jarring, really confusing, and then we'll talk about it and he'll say, I'll do better, and then it just kind of keeps happening. So my question is, how do I break this cycle?
And what do you mean, how do you break this cycle with him?
Is there a way to communicate with him where I guess it wouldn't feel like he constantly doesn't tell me things?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a challenge because in this dynamic, you're the child and he's the adult. I mean, you're an adult too, but so there's a weird dynamic.
It's very weird.
Right? And in this particular situation, you probably feel like you're acting more like the adult than he is.
Yeah, he has issues with accountability and taking responsibility. So a lot of the time, like when I brought this up to him, and because I did tell him after, I was like, I didn't know she was going to be here. This was kind of a lot. And he was like, what do you mean you didn't know? Well, I told your siblings. And it was very much like he was just kind of in shock too. But then he apologized, but he had said, to the extent that you were uneasy, I apologize.
Okay.
I was like, that doesn't feel super empathetic, but so it feels a lot of the time like it's hard to have real communication.
Yeah. Not to cut your dad much slack because he's a cheater and a liar. I don't think it's easy for parents to apologize to their kids, just in general.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And he and I didn't have a great relationship before this, so it's kind of been rocky.
Yeah. It's tough, right? Because so much of this is out of your control. Mm-hmm. It comes down to what your dad willing to do. I think you have to just try to be as consistent with your communication and boundaries as you can be with him and your expectations. So first, one-on-one with your dad as much as you can. Because now that you're an adult, you have to establish your own relationship with your dad, and your brother and your sisters also have to establish their own relationship with your dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think as kids, you kind of like together have a relationship with mom and dad.
Yeah.
And as adults, I think you kind of form your own individual relationship.
Mhm.
So maybe ask your dad if he wants to get together for like a cup of coffee or dinner or something one-on-one and communicate with him and just say, listen, assuming this is true, but my goal is to have a relationship with your dad. I know we haven't always had the best one, but I would like to have some relationship with you. And I'd like it to be a healthy one. So that's first my expectation, also my hope, It's more of a hope, I guess, than expectation. But my expectation of how to do that is I just want us to be able to communicate and be upfront. And I'm asking you in the future to just communicate to me directly rather than assume I'm going to find out through my brother or sister. So like that's a simple expectation you can communicate to your dad, and he should be able to honor that. It's like, okay, great. I'll communicate to you directly if there's anything I think you might want to know. I won't assume someone else is going to tell you. And then you tell them the things that you would like to know. It's just like, I want you to be like, listen, I don't like that you did what you did to mom. It's uncomfortable to me that you are with the person that you cheated on with mom. I have to like accept that and deal with it. You're ultimately going to be with who you're going to be with. But like, I would love for you to respect the fact that it's difficult for me to just kind of enjoy being around you two because it's still raw and I'm still protective of my mom. I understand that, you've moved on, but like, I just hope that you can respect that. You kind of speak in that language. See what he says about that. I think it would go a long way as long as you seem to be willing to let him do what he wants ultimately, which sounds like you are. I mean, you don't have to love it, but you're willing to like deal with it, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But I would tell him it's more important to me right now to build a relationship with you because we haven't always had the strongest relationship, and I'd like that. In order to do that, I need you to try to focus on making that a priority without expecting me, at least right now, to build a relationship with her.
I don't think he expects me to have a relationship with her. It's just really hard because it feels like I can't get close to him because a lot of the time like I said, it'll kind of be the cycle of, hey, can you communicate this better? Can you tell me this? And then it'll be like, oops, I forgot. And so it's like, well, it's hard for me to trust that I'm getting all the information. So it's kind of, I don't even think he meant for me to have this meeting with her, but it was frustrating that it wasn't a conversation.
Well, you need to ask him to make it a priority. Because I don't know, maybe he did forget, maybe he's lying, I don't know. But it wasn't a priority for him to make sure that you knew. Mm-hmm. And maybe you didn't communicate that expectation. But what I'm saying is I think you should try to over communicate with your dad. You kind of have to be the grown up in this almost, Yeah. And that sucks, but also you'll probably learn a lot. You'll hopefully, learn all the things you don't want to do in a relationship. And this will be good at teaching you how to communicate with future partners, especially around awkward situations, for sure. It's good practice. So I think you should just try to over communicate your hopes and expectations with your dad of the type of relationship and the type of communication style you'd like to have with him. And see if A, he's at least even interested in saying that, and then B, see if he does that. And just say, for now, I'm going to set a boundary around like, I don't want to really spend a lot of time with her. I don't want to spend any time with her. Maybe that's your boundary. I just want to, when I'm building my relationship with you, I just want it to be you and I. And maybe we can carve out some time if that's an interest of you. But I'd like for you to make our relationship a priority. Maybe even ask him that. Even ask him, is it a priority for you to have a relationship with me? You should literally ask him that question. I don't know if a lot of kids are asking their parents that question.
I mean, he's told me it is. He's told me I've been the one who's been more resistant to having a close relationship with him because we weren't close before everything kind of blew up. And then now that I'm getting older too, it's like, when you get older, you see qualities in your parents that you don't recognize when you're younger. And so it's like, oh, that's not great. So it's it's hard to, I guess, form that relationship when I can't trust him in that sense.
Okay, have you told him that?
No, I don't think I have.
Yeah, I mean, what do you have to lose? I mean, I think you seem like a really nice, delightful person. I feel like you can communicate, be direct, and just be like, I wanna have a relationship with you, but I want to respect you too.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And I understand people make mistakes. If you weren't happy with mom, fine. But like, I want to respect you, and that I want you to be honest, and I want you to be upfront, and I want you to communicate, and I want you to handle yourself differently, because you violated my trust in you, and I want to build that back. I want to believe in you, Dad. You have to help me believe in you. So give him a little hope by saying that you want to believe him. It must be hard. Like, I can imagine having a child and having them say something like that to me. If that doesn't like want him to hold himself accountable, nothing will, truly.
Yeah.
His 19-year-old daughter very maturely says, I want a relationship with you, but I want to be able to respect you. I want you to be an example of the type of person you want me to be. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Say that to him.
I like that.
Yeah, write that down. Try to like have one-on-one conversations with your dad, and just be willing to be very communicative and very upfront about your expectations, and see if he respects it. If he doesn't, then I think you just say, hey, Dad, like, I've tried, and I'll always try. I'll give you probably way more chances than you'll ever deserve. But what I won't do is X, Y, or Z. You know, like, these are my boundaries, and if it is a priority for you to have a relationship with me, I need you to respect that. And when you don't, I'm going to pull away.
That's really helpful. I've never put it in such clear terms like that.
Yeah, try that, and I think you will really impress him. Yeah.
I hope so. I mean, he's my dad, like, I want to have that good relationship with him.
Of course, yeah. And, and like you said, your parents are just, they're super flawed people that we saw as gods when we were kids. And it's like you're at this time of your life where you're realizing that, but it doesn't mean you can't have a relationship with your parents. It's a different relationship. You see it differently, but I love that you are trying to have a relationship with your dad despite him being a very imperfect man, because you only have one dad and you only have one mom. And I think it's important to have these relationships as much as you can, but you now get to dictate the terms of this relationship, unlike when you were as a child.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much. That was really helpful.
Well, good luck. Keep us posted. I'd love to know how this goes. And good luck.
Thank you so much. And I also just want to say, I love Don't Text Your Ex Happy Birthday. It has been extremely helpful, and I'm recommending it to all of my friends.
I really appreciate that. And I think some of it can apply to like these conversations with your dad, especially talking about expectations and boundaries and things like that. And just, it's real simple. Like, this is what I need from you to have a relationship with me. Again, a lot of it is the same type of conversations you're eventually going to have with future partners. It's like, hey, if you want to be with me, this is what you need to do. And if you don't want to do it, it's fine, but I'm going to pull away. All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. Thank you as well. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. When it comes to choosing a wireless plan, you're forced to compromise. But what if you didn't have to? What if you could get reliable service without a contract and save money? Introducing Total by Verizon, a new no contract, no credit check carrier for you and your family, with plans starting at just $30 per month on America's most reliable 5G network. Sacrifice nothing, experience everything. Total by Verizon is available at totalbyverizon.com and at retailers nationwide. Based on first-place rankings and Root Metrics' first half 2022 5G assessments of 125 metros. Experiences vary, not an endorsement. Well, it's holiday season, and give the loved ones in your life the gift of something priceless. And we're talking about StoryWorth. It's an online service that helps you and your loved ones preserve precious memories and stories for years to come. It is a thoughtful and meaningful gift that connects you to those who matter most, like your parents or your grandparents, maybe, that favorite weird, goofy uncle of yours. I gave it to my dad for Father's Day a while back, and it's great. I always remember growing up, us kids loved listening to the stories of when my parents would get together with their siblings and they'd tell stories about their childhood. It's always fun. And you can do that. And they will give these people prompts to ask questions, tell me about a crazy date you had or something like that. It's a whole long list of questions. And you can really get to know these people on a personal level. And after they're all done, they'll compile all these stories of your loved ones and put them into this really nice keepsake that you'll be able to share for generations to come. Reading the weekly stories will help you connect with loved ones no matter how far apart you are. So if you're looking to really, give that kind of meaningful gift, think of StoryWorth. With StoryWorth, you too can give those you love the most a thoughtful personal gift from the heart and preserving their memories and stories for years to come. Go to storyworth.com/VIALL and save $10 off your first purchase. That is StoryWorth, WORTH.com/VIALL to save $10 off your first purchase. How's it going?
I'm good. My name's Rachel. I'm 25 years old. I've been dating my boyfriend for 3 years now, but we've been having issues recently because my oldest sister has been dating this guy I previously hooked up with 6 years ago.
Ooh, fun.
The issue is that he has been spending a lot of time with my family and it makes him really uncomfortable. It's kind of come to the point that he doesn't want to come to any family functions or holidays because this guy is there.
Okay, interesting. All right, so how long have you been dating your current boyfriend?
3 years.
3 years. Okay. You're 20. How old is your current boy? How old is your boyfriend?
28.
28. Okay, so 3 years older than you.
Yeah.
And how long has your sister been dating this other guy?
So they became friends a year ago and they kind of were seeing each other a year ago, but they just started dating like a few months ago.
Okay. And I'm assuming your sister knows that you guys hooked up?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you tell your boyfriend, how did you tell your boyfriend about this?
I met the guy that my sister's dating, let's call him John. I met him working at a seasonal restaurant. I've known him for 8 years. I've known him for a long time. We just hooked up, drunkenly hooked up a few years, 6 years ago. And I told him when we first started dating that I hooked up with this guy because I met my boyfriend working at the same restaurant. The three of us have worked together before him and I even started dating. So everything was out in the open 3 years ago when we first started dating, and it was never an issue until now.
Wait, so your current boyfriend, before he was your boyfriend, knew you hooked up with this other guy?
Yeah.
And then you guys became boyfriend and girlfriend. 2.5, 3 years passed, and then your sister coincidentally just happens to meet this guy. They start dating, and now he's all bent out of shape about it and refusing to go to holiday gatherings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because they knew each other previously and it was never a problem.
Sure.
And he's been vocal about his uncomfortability with it because he thinks that John has ill intentions and feels as if that he's with my sister to get to me.
He does. Have you explained to him maybe that wouldn't work on you?
Yeah.
I mean, your boyfriend can have whatever conspiracy theories he has about he's doing this to get to you. I would ask him, my response to him would be well, how dumb or how vulnerable do you think I am? You know what I'm saying? He's implying that he has this master plan that at the end of the day, if it works, you will be powerless to somehow avoid his
Machiavellian
his advances, I guess, towards you.
And it's just even this is what also just drives me up a wall is that he's vocal to me that it's a problem. But when it comes to face-to-face interaction with this guy,
Bros,
it does not me and John still work at this seasonal restaurant, right? My boyfriend comes in to visit. Instead of saying, hey, I'm going to sit in your section because I want to come visit you, he brings his buddies in and sits at his bar and gets drinks. And he gets
with John.
With John.
Okay.
And they talk about sports and they have, and it's never a problem. And then all of a sudden, it's a totally different conversation behind closed doors.
Yeah, this is nuts. What conversation specifically have you had with your boyfriend about this? How have you tried to address this?
I've said, I don't really understand why now this is becoming an issue when we've had this conversation previously. It is very evident to me that he is solely dating my sister because he genuinely has feelings for my sister. He has not brought any ill intention. He gets along with my entire family. He has built a friendship with my middle sister. He's gotten a great relationship with my mom. He spends a lot of time in our summer family home. I don't know if it's a jealousy factor or what it is.
Did you say that to him?
Yeah. I said the relationship is totally different.
What did he say?
You have built a different relationship with my family in comparison than how he has built a relationship with my family. And my family is very open arms in wanting to, spend time with my boyfriend and, get to know him and has liked him over the years. And just now it's just become this division where my sisters are like, oh, is it going to be okay that John's going to be around? Is it because of your boyfriend? Is it okay about this? And I just feel like there's just this separation between me and my family and now me and my boyfriend.
Yeah, well, there shouldn't be, right? Here's how I think you need to take a kind of pretty hard line here, I think, with your boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My first question to your boyfriend would be very simply, it's because it's real simple. Question, do you trust me? Have you asked him that?
Not like flat out like that.
Okay.
No.
Well, then I would sit him down and have this conversation and be like, okay, I want to talk about this because this is like, we need to figure this out because the situation isn't changing. So let's have a conversation. And my question to you is, do you trust me? Yes or no? It's real simple. And hopefully he says yes. And if he says, if you trust me, then that means that you trust me. First of all, I'm going to be committed to you. And you have nothing to worry about as it relates to him, regardless of what he wants. And I don't care if he has a shrine up about me, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm telling you, I'm not interested in him. Not to mention the fact that he's literally now dating my sister. Like, why do you think I would even be entertaining something like that, regardless of what he wants? Your job is to trust me, not him. Your job is not to trust any other guy out here. Your job is to trust me. So if you say you trust me, then like that immediately should resolve most of this.
Right.
Right? Second of all, like if you really have a problem with this guy, if you really think he has ill intentions with my sister, then why do you interact with him the way that you do? Because it comes across as disingenuous. Like, don't be fake around people that you claim to me to be ill-intentioned. You think this guy hooking up with my sister and getting to know my family just so he can somehow have me in his life? And then you come into work and like hang out with him? So like, listen, if you actually feel that way, then like act like it.
Yeah, because it's not like there's so many other places that he could go. But he solely comes to this restaurant. And I was like, well, why do you do that? And he goes, well, because that's just solely transactional.
No, that's bullshit. Like, I think you need to call him out on his bullshit. He's just super insecure about it. It bugs him that a guy who like fucked his girlfriend is now having, spending Christmas in the family. And it's just, it annoys him and he's insecure about it. That's what's going on. And he is making up all these other bullshit excuses that have no truth behind it because he's insecure about it. So I think you should just challenge him on either you trust me or you don't. But what I can tell you is not going to happen. My family is not going to take sides. My family is not going to exclude someone because you can't handle it. You knew about this a long time ago. I want my sister to be happy. And I want someone who can trust me. While this might be annoying and weird for you, this is not a big deal. And I want someone who's confident and trusts me, who believes in me and believes in us and like can get over these things. And like, I'm sorry that it's a little awkward and uncomfortable, but like you can handle this. I've given you no reason not to trust me. And I think you, instead of like questioning his character and accusing him of things that you have no proof of, maybe you should just try to accept it and deal with it. And if this is something you're insecure about it, I'm happy to talk with you about it. But like, I think you're really going about this in an unhealthy way. And I think you need to put your foot down. And I think you don't be mean and certainly don't try to like, I don't think you even need to defend this other John guy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is about, do you trust me? And this is just like, you can't keep doing this. Because again, I'm not going to not go to Christmas. I'm not going to avoid my family during the holidays because my sister's happy and you can't deal with it.
I mean, I had a conversation where I said, I personally don't understand why your hatred for this one person overpowers your love for me to be at something that really matters to me, including being around my family, because family is very important to me. And like, that's where I'm really struggling with this.
What did he say? He
said, I don't care. I'm not going to spend my time around somebody that I don't like. And we were at a local bar, my sisters, and John were there, and then we were there with a big group of our friends, and I had to like bounce between two groups. And eventually our friends came over, and he decided that he was just not gonna migrate over with the rest of the group. He decided to stay.
He's being a fucking baby. And I think you treat a baby like a baby. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
put him in a corner. I mean, this is I'm serious. Like he's being a stubborn little baby, and he is going to try to see if he can get you to give him what he wants. He needs to know that you're not going to put up with this temper tantrum. So I just think you stop entertaining it.
So I just ignore him.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a potential deal breaker for you. Like if this guy is being this petty, and he is being this untrusting of you, and being this unwilling to work through a slightly awkward situation that has no real red flags for the sake of like harmony and peace for the family, and he's just like being, no, I don't care. Do you want that type of partner in your life going forward? Imagine further challenges and obstacles and awkward situations that any couple might have to deal with. And he is just not willing to bend or negotiate on something that he's being unreasonable of. So I think you need to draw a hard line and get him to basically crawl back and ask for forgiveness once he realizes you're not going to put up with this bullshit. And I think once he realizes you're willing to walk away from this, if he can't grow up, I think there's a good chance he'll come around. And if not, then you thank God you know now.
Yeah, it's just been a whirlwind of a situation I didn't know. And we've been living together for 2 years.
Yeah, it sucks.
Like it's like I'm here because like I really want this. So this isn't like a small little tip for me. So that's why, like you said, like it could generally be a deal breaker because my family isn't irreplaceable.
Exactly. And he's just being unreasonable.
Yeah. And I would even understand if you don't like somebody and be uncomfortable and just be consistent.
Yeah, he's being a hypocrite. He's being a hypocrite.
But it's like up and down with everything. And like one moment it's fine and you hate the guy, and then in the next minute you're talking about, hey, join my fantasy sports group. And like
he asked him to join his fantasy football league. Yeah, he's being this guy's
they're in one together. That's why I don't get it. Like it's just
this is so high school. This is
like I don't even know where to go here. But
I think you have to put your foot down.
Yeah.
I think he needs to believe that you are not willing to bend. This is a game of chicken. And I think you have right on your side. He is justifying his insecurities by and that's why he doesn't make sense, because he's just grasping at straws. He's just trying to find an argument that makes sense. He just doesn't have one. At the end of the day, he's just like, the truth is, I just hate that I'm spending Christmas with the guy who fucked my girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's what he's thinking in his head. And he's not man enough or mature enough, no offense, to deal with that. He feels, I don't know, emasculated or what, but like, and you've done that. That's something he needs to work on. He needs to like find the confidence, because certainly it doesn't sound like anything you've done.
No, I mean, I've been open from the beginning when we first started dating. Yeah. So this isn't news, you know?
I think you just lay it out. Hey, listen, I want to sit you down and talk to you about this. Just a reminder, I have been honest with you before we even started dating. I've always wanted to be open with you. I don't keep secrets. You know this happened. You dealt with it in the past. Now my sister is dating him. She's happy. I have no reason not to believe him. And if you really thought he was that bad of a guy, he wouldn't be in your fantasy football league, and you wouldn't be talking to him at the bar. And that's it. You know, like, do you hang around with people that you think are low character? Because it sounds like you do. You're claiming that you hang out with people that are low character. You have like bad character people in your fantasy football league. Oh, it's just a fantasy football league. Well, okay. Well, these are your friends. These are people you're interacting with. I don't associate with people. If I think someone is low character, I don't give them the time of day. And do you trust me? Because if you trust me, at the end of the day, then this shouldn't be an issue. And you're expecting my entire family to pivot because of your insecurity. And that's just not going to happen. So either you're going to have to learn to deal with this, or you're not. I'm not going to disassociate myself from my family. I'm not going to not spend the holidays with my family. You will lose 100% of the time when you put me up against my family for something they didn't do just because of something you're insecure about.
Right.
And I'm sorry.
No, I agree.
And I'm sorry if this sounds so harsh, but you're being, I mean, maybe try to say this in a nicer way, but I do think you should be stern. And I do think, you should not look like you're not going to bend. The I don't care energy he's giving you, I think it should be coming from you. And I think you should be willing to have the conversation and explain yourself, because you can explain yourself. And that's why he can't explain himself. That's why he's like, I don't care. I'm just not going to do it, because he doesn't have an answer. And he doesn't want to say, I'm too insecure to deal with the fact that my girlfriend is spending Christmas with some guy she fucked.
No, I completely agree. I definitely have not been stern enough. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So
he needs to believe that you will walk away because of this if he can't get over it.
Okay.
And I think you should pay attention to these insecurities that he has. And I don't think you should ignore this. And you're living with this guy you've been dating for 3 years. Clearly, you guys are talking about the future and the rest of your lives with each other. And I think this is potentially a big red flag. And these types of insecurities and jealousy, don't go away. And maybe in a more loving way, just say, I want to work with this. We can do couples therapy if you want, but this isn't healthy. I think you're dealing with a very awkward and maybe this is something you can actually say. So I think you're dealing with a very awkward and difficult situation in a very unhealthy and toxic way. And it's affecting our relationship in a very serious way. And I want us to address it, because I'm not going to ignore this issue. It's not going away. And I need to know that you can deal with difficult situations in a much healthier way.
Yeah, no, I'm totally on that page for sure.
I think he'll come around.
He's very stubborn. So that's why I've been having such a hard time.
Yeah. He is stubborn, and he's expecting you to bend.
Yeah.
And that's why he's doing what he's doing. But I'm 100% certain you would be making a big mistake for yourself in this relationship, especially if you stay in it and give in to his demands.
No, I 100% agree. Yeah. 100%. Because I don't want to do that, especially when it comes to discretion of my family too.
If you want him to come on this podcast with you and I will talk to him, I would love to.
Okay. I will have to talk about it with him, but we'll see.
It'll be anonymous. It'll be great. I'd love to ask him some questions.
Well, I'll definitely have to see if that would be an option. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I would love to hear it from his point of view.
Yeah, if you think you're so right, come talk to this guy with me and see if you can answer some very basic questions. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
The good news is you'll look great.
Well, I'm not worried about how I look, but it's also my relationship. It also is all the questions that you've asked is my answers of how he's responded to things aren't the best responses. It's kind of embarrassing too,
Yeah. Well, I'll be a little gentler, but I think he'll come around. If I were his buddy, I'd be like, you need to man up and deal with this. And the fact that you can't speaks more about you than anything else.
Well, it's funny because when I was like, have you talked to your guy friends about this? And he's like, yeah, they all agree with me. And then when I talk to them, they're like, yeah, we don't get it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, why does it feel like everybody doesn't understand it? Because it's pretty well known in my friends, my family, where I work, that he does not like him. It's very well known. So it's not a secret because he chooses to show that that's his issue.
I think you're dating a really insecure guy.
It also is crazy to me because he never has come off that way previously. If I'm like, hey, I'm going out with a group of my work friends, I'm some are girls, some are guys, he'll be like, okay, yeah, sure, go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from, but stop worrying about him being happy when it comes to this situation. That's been your kind of downfall, because not everyone's going to be happy about this. He needs to get disappointed first and then realizes he needs to deal with it and mature.
Right. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
My
I
pleasure.
really appreciate it.
Let us know what ends up happening.
Oh, I will.
And let us know if he wants to come on here and hash it out.
Okay. All right. I'll have a talk with him. See where it goes.
Good luck. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. How's it going?
Hi, how's it going? My name's Allison. I'm 30 years old, and I am in a non-sexual situationship with my future roommate's brother.
Fun.
Yeah.
For us. Why is it a situationship? Why is it not sexual?
Well, it's not sexual because I am Christian and I try to go about that in a little bit of a different way. I wait until things are much more serious before I enter anything sexual like that. But it is a situationship because we are talking and have gone on a date. However, things have kind of fizzled out because of the sister situation.
Okay, so your sister. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you like him?
I do really like him. Yeah. We actually met without knowing that he was her brother. And we hit it off really well.
Does she know?
She knows. Yeah.
She knows. What does she say?
She loves it. She really wants us to date.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a concern you don't have to worry about. I mean, that was a potential obstacle.
Yeah. I have her blessing.
So from your point of view, what's stopping this from turning into something?
Well, shortly after I told him, this was after our really incredible date where we hit it off magically and I was on cloud 9.
Okay.
I ended up telling him that she is going to move in with me. I chose her to move in with me and he acted okay about it. But since then, I noticed a significant pullback, less texting. He hasn't asked me on a second date. But he does still contact me, and some of these messages are very flirtatious. But I also know that he has gone on dates with other women, and we ended up finally talking about it yesterday. And he mentioned that it was because of his sister that he decided to pull back, but he seems very unsure about it. And I don't know how to give him more clarity or reassurance.
So how long has this been going on for?
We met probably about 3 months ago now, but we didn't go on our first date until maybe 3 weeks ago.
And what, like, you guys were just talking like online? Or you like?
We were just, lots of texting was occurring. We were just talking back and forth. I came to find out that he was actually already kind of talking to somebody else, which is why it felt mostly friendly at first. But once he decided to end that with her, then he asked me out on a date.
So it's not totally a situationship yet.
You don't think? What makes it a situationship? I guess that's my real question because I didn't know how to categorize this.
It's fine. Yeah. I mean, it ultimately doesn't really matter.
It just feels early. You're not stuck in something like months down the line where one's like someone's afraid of committing or won't.
Where it's really complicated.
It's just like very early.
If it ends today, it was a guy you went on one date with and you chatted with about.
Well, I thought it was over because we didn't talk for 5 days.
Yeah, and not to minimize your excitement or anything like that or the situation, but there's probably people listening who have like been like invested in a situation for like a year and a half, and they know intimate things about each other's families, and they've holidayed together, and like they're hooking up, and they're like, well, I'm not ready to be in a relationship. One person's saying that.
I guess in my head, I'm trying to figure out how to fix it before it fully crashes and burns.
Do you think that's an excuse or do you think that's an honest reason? Because it's a convenient excuse to say, yeah, I don't know, my sister is going to be a roommate. That's just weird for me. That can easily just be an excuse. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's a little bit of a reason and a little bit of an excuse. How much you seem like in the little bit I've talked with you, like you seem like an intentional person. And I'm sure your Christian values play a role in that, like.
Well, I'm 32, so I'm also trying to kind of find my person.
Right. So you're
5 years away from a geriatric pregnancy. So
fair enough.
That's what they file it as long
as
you're 35. It's insane.
It's absurd.
So dramatic and rude.
It's
why do you find a different word for it?
It seems unnecessary. Can't they just be like mild? There's some risks.
Why don't we just have 35 plus?
Why do we have to call it geriatric?
So much better.
I know. It's a soul killer a little bit knowing that, but it's fine.
You brought it up and he was like, yeah, it's my sister.
So he asked me if I wanted to go to church with him. And I was very confused because what does that even mean? So I go to his church with him, seemingly normal. We were bantering, having a great time. And then before I got out of the car, I asked him why he asked me to go to church with him. And he said, I really enjoy spending time with you and we haven't talked. So I really wanted to catch up. And then I brought it up. I said, okay, well, can we talk about what's going on here? And he immediately got very nervous and uncomfortable. And he just mentioned that a few things happened, mostly being with his sister. And it made him kind of reassess the situation.
Like what?
The night that I told him that I was moving in with his sister was, we went downtown and I saw him. He came into the bar. He was very excited to see me, hugged me, but he was with another group of people. He seemed happy to be around me, but also not very touchy or particularly flirty. And come to find out, it was because one of the girls in his friend group he had dated recently. And I didn't know that, though. He left the bar. He hadn't said goodbye. He claimed it was because, he just needed to go say hi to a friend and couldn't get back into the bar. But that happens. That kind of upset me. So I didn't really text him much the next day. It's possible that could have factored into it, but...
How old is he?
31.
Well, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Seems age appropriate. So this is a girl he used to date?
He just had a situationship with her, but I don't know the extent of it.
Okay, so he felt like he was in an awkward situation and he acted awkwardly.
Distant, yeah. And so, but not knowing why he was acting distant for 2 weeks, that left me wondering if it was just a sister, what it could have been. So
right. I just feel like you hit him with some directness and I guess tough love. I don't know, tough love. But I think it's, listen, you just say something like, you're overcomplicating this.
Mm-hmm.
We went on one date, buddy. I've had a really nice time. I understand that I'm moving in with your sister. That offers some complications, but nothing that can't be fixed with talking about some expectations and some boundaries around how we both handle that, like what we would share, But more than that, like we've also been on one date, but I do know that I've had a really good time with you and I really like to get to know you more. And are you interested in doing that? And how about we agree to just keep checking in with each other? And how about we agree to just be honest about where we're at? Let's communicate how we're feeling. And I'll let you know when you might be oversharing. And I'll let you know when there's something that you might want to share that I'm not interested in hearing. But until then, can we agree to just over communicate and be upfront with each other about where we're at, whether we're dating other people or each other? But I don't want to stop getting to know you because I think we're both mature enough to navigate this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what you should say with it to him. I think you should challenge him to be mature enough to handle this. And not avoid getting to know each other just because there might be some awkward landmines along the way.
Yeah. After we talked about it, I texted him that night and I said, thank you so much for your honesty. I really appreciate knowing where you're at. I still really do enjoy talking to you and spending time with you. And he didn't respond until a day later.
Okay.
And he said something to the extent of, thank you. That's really sweet of you to say. You're a really good communicator. And I said, thank you. I have a degree in communication. And then he stopped responding to me after that. So how do I restart a conversation? Should I be picking up on the cues?
So he didn't say anything about getting together with you again, or?
No, he hasn't said anything about hanging out again.
That was the last form of communication?
Yes, that was last night.
That was last night.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, he's putting you in a tough spot to re-ask.
I know. I hate the double text. I really don't like seeming clingy or, really expectant.
I think you could hit him with a joke. It's a little snarky, but it's kind of something along the lines of, I really appreciate you acknowledging my communication skills. I was hoping to get the same from you.
Oh.
So the last text was you saying, thanks, I have a degree in communication?
No, I told him a quick story about something that had happened. He said, that's crazy. And then that was it.
The text that you sent him about wanting to see him again, blah, 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 reply to that text.
Okay.
So you're replying to your own text.
Uh-huh.
So he knows what you're referencing.
Mm-hmm. Does that not seem too needy to you to already say that, have him not say anything about that, and then message him again
I don't know what this is, but I'm having conversations with people out in the wild and you and things like that. And it seems like, well, again, I'm talking to most women, so I don't know if this is from a women's point of view or just people in general, but there's this thing where I'm saying, hey, you should be direct or communicate. And I'm always hearing, well, I don't want to sound crazy or needy. Communicating what you want isn't being needy.
And if that scares him off, you're better off without him.
I know.
Wouldn't you rather just know either way right now if he's going to put an effort or show up or respond than be have this person on a back burner for a while?
Yeah, I know. There's two paths to take, right? There's the aggressive approach of we're going to figure this out right here, right now. Or there's the other approach that's well, maybe I'll just let it simmer, let him simmer on it, get used to the idea of me and his sister being roommates, and then see if anything builds from that. I don't think it's either of those. I think it's just right down the middle of just
emphasizing that you want good communication and holding them accountable to being a good communicator, because that's what you want to bring to the table. And I don't like being needy is figuring out what your needs are and then thinking, I'm asking for a lot and I'm not willing to give the same. That's being needy. But communicating your needs is not being needy. It's communicating what you want. And if you think your needs are unrealistic, then fine, then you can evaluate whether that makes you needy. But simply stating what you want out of any type of interaction is not being needy. It's also not crazy. And we have to get that type of mindset out of our heads, that stating the bare minimum of our expectations is not needy or crazy. If your expectations are crazy, or if they're too much and needy, then that's when you can figure out whether they're needy or crazy. When you're just like, you know what I want out of a relationship? I want you to bring pancakes to me every morning. That would be a little nutty. That might be a little needy.
To each their own, Nick.
But yeah, and yeah, right. And they can decide whether that's needy or crazy. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we're going around talking, like, communicating, like, our basic expectations and what we want are somehow is crazy or needy. You were vulnerable and said, I really like you. I'd like to keep doing this. And he just hit you with, wow, you're a great communicator, and didn't acknowledge a simple question.
Well, I didn't ask him to hang out, to be fair. I just told him I do enjoy talking to you.
You're making excuses.
Okay, fair.
You were pretty clear about what you wanted. It clearly needed an acknowledgement. He didn't acknowledge it. He ignored it. He chose to ignore it. So I think you playfully say, I was hoping the same from you. You can give him a wink face if you want to let him know that you're not coming down on him or something like that.
Right.
But to Allie's point, if he can't rise to that challenge, then you already have an answer.
The way I convince myself, because I get a lot of anxiety about that too, of if I push him too hard, I'm going to lose him. And maybe if I just, in your words, let it simmer, at some point he'll open his eyes. And I have to remind myself, if he's going to end it with me or not see a future with me, he's either going to say that or see that now, or he's going to see that after months of it simmering. And isn't it more fair for me to know that now so that I can either take some time to myself or recuperate or recalibrate my life and then potentially find someone else than letting it quote unquote simmer? Just remind yourself that it's probably going to be the same answer either way. It's just going to be a bigger waste of your time if it is a no.
You're in a unique position because you're about to be roommates with his sister. And that unique position is to be your absolute best self and be the person you want to be in a relationship. And you want to give off that energy of the type of values you want, the type of communication you want. And he's going to be able to see that, whether it's on the peripheral, he's going to see how you carry yourself. So carry yourself in the way that you want someone to accept you in a relationship. Does that make sense?
No, it does make sense.
And you can show him the type of person you want to be in a relationship. And if that's not something he wants, then great, he won't want that. But I don't think you should dumb yourself down or dilute, who you want to be to appease him in hopes that you can then convince him to accept who you are after you get him to want to like you, which is what most people do. And like I said, you're in this unique position is that even if he doesn't take you up on your offer now, on some level, you're going to kind of be in this guy's life. So you can be your unapologetic self and be confident in what you want and confident in the type of expectations you want from someone that you are going to prioritize, and holding people accountable for being good communicators is one of them. So just be playful and call him out on not acknowledging what you said, and make him tell you that he's not interested in hanging out with you in that way anymore, if that's how he feels.
Yeah, no, you're right. Expectations might follow, but standards should always stay high. So I agree with you.
There you go. So I think you should reply to that text. I would say you do it right now.
You want me to do it right now?
I would love to.
Okay, I will do it.
So let's type it out together. So you're replying to that text. Read that text to me back so we know exactly what we're working with here.
What I'm going to say, or what
the text
said?
That what you said.
Okay. I said, hey, just wanted to say thanks again for inviting me and also taking me, because my car window broke, to your church today. It was good to finally check it out. And thanks for indulging me with uncomfortable conversation and being honest about where you're at. I do enjoy talking with you and spending time together. And then he said, "Hi, that's very sweet to share. I really appreciate your time." Smiley face. And then he said, "You're a pretty solid communicator, I have to say."
Well, read that back to me one more time.
Okay, both of them?
The whole thing.
Okay. "Hey, just wanted to say thanks again for inviting me and also taking me, to your church today. It was good to finally check it out. Also, thanks for indulging me with uncomfortable conversation and being honest about where you're at. I do enjoy talking with you and spending time together." And he replied, "Hi, that's very sweet to share. I really appreciate your time." Smiley face.
Okay. Well, I'm slightly reevaluating. Because you didn't really, all you said is you enjoy his time. And then he said kind of the same thing. There wasn't an ask in there, I guess.
I told you there wasn't an ask.
Okay. Yeah.
You said I was making excuses.
No, you're okay. Fair enough. Well, all right. Well, now we need an ask.
What's the ask?
So how about another date?
Yeah, do that.
Why not? What's
short,
why?
simple,
I don't
to the
understand.
point.
I need you to make him give you some clarity.
I guess my hope was just that he would show up and make that initiative, because then I would know he really wanted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too early to do that. You know what you want, and that's the important thing. So stop wasting each other's time and help each other out and ask him on a date that you know you want to go out on and see if he's interested. In the future, if this keeps going, you can communicate to him that you would like to see some of that initiative from him too. But I think it's too early after one date. He also did ask you to go to his church. He took some initiative there.
True, he did.
So let's just say how we feel and communicate that and put it out there and see if they accept it. And as things move along, we can continue to check in and we can continue to communicate new expectations and what we want to let the other person know how we want to feel valued. And we can see if they meet those expectations and go from there.
That's fair. Yeah. I'll think of something that maybe he'd like to do and I would like to do. And then I'll ask him if he wants to do it.
How about we just ask him now?
He keeps saying that. Okay, well, what
how about another date?
How about another date, or how about another date?
I don't know if it really matters. Are you free this weekend? I'm asking you. Are you free this weekend?
Yeah.
So how about a date this weekend?
Okay.
I've decided we should go on another date.
No. Just ask a question.
Allie.
Why? What's wrong?
She's like, absolutely not.
I like this. I like the question.
Yeah, but
it feels more genuine to their conversation than I've decided.
I feel like we need some initiative here. I don't think either is fine. I don't think there's wrong with
if I
either.
say, "Hey, so I'm thinking we should hang out again." Is that? Oh, that's not.
You know him better than we know him. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think you should say hang out. I think you should say the word date. That's the important word in the message. And I don't think it really matters. How about another? I just want you to be confident and communicate that confidence that you want to keep hanging out. And I think given the situation with the sister, this is ripe for a situationship because there are like potential awkward things. So when that happens, we avoid communicating. We're just, we're all hedging our bets. And I think you just need to put it out there exactly what you want and be very clear and make him reject you.
That might be a reason for him not going overboard in making the plans with you, because he knows his sister's part of it. So it might not be because of lack of interest. He might just be trying to play it a little safe. So you might have to be the one to put it forward, because he doesn't want to go too hard and then get a call from his sister saying, "You made my roommate feel uncomfortable. Stop texting her."
I know. We try really hard not to talk to his sister about the situation. We try to keep those lines very clear.
Yeah, you might need to exude the confidence in each other. You're the friend, so to speak. So it's kind of like you might have to be the confident one. As the roommate and your potential romantic partner, it doesn't bother me. And so
how about another date this weekend? Or maybe I think we should go on another date this weekend. Like
either whatever.
That's what I put. How'd you know? I put, "Hey, I think we should go on another date this weekend."
I like that.
Nailed it.
Okay, sending it.
Great.
Woo!
Yay!
Yeah, make him give you a clear answer.
Okay, I appreciate that. I needed that confidence booster, honestly.
You're a catch. You don't have time for simmering.
Thanks, Allie.
You deserve a finished dish.
Hold this for library books.
Grab a fork.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Let us know what he says.
Oh, I will.
Yeah,
I'll keep you guys
invested.
updated.
Keep us updated.
Thank you so much. That makes a lot of sense. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care. Thanks for listening, guys. Don't forget to send in those questions at asknick@castmedia.com, cast with a K. Just remember, you are anonymous, so all the juicy stories we welcome. Holiday stories, breakup stories. If you're stuck in a situationship, mediation, we're looking for it all. Send in those questions. asknick@castmedia.com, cast with a K, and we will see you on Wednesday. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos like our Tuesday Bachelor recaps and Wednesday celebrity and expert interviews. See you next time.